You're listening to M-Soul Music in the Mix. Give a better sound to your life.
It's MW, man. Thanks so much for the contribution for the stream of the start. Thanks, dude. Yeah, man. Hang tight. Much love.
It's time for Power Hour.
Hello, traders. Welcome to the Sunday evening live stream. We got the weekly candle close upon us, less than an hour, and Bitcoin's been running all throughout Saturday into today. And it seems nice, you know, Bitcoin up $2,800, but does it mean anything technically? Has any event occurred that would make us more optimistic? I mean, I believe funding rates have gone negative for the first time in a long time. So that might be good, but don't know if it's enough. I mean, of course, you get reflexive rallies. But let's look at these charts. Some of these altcoins up a lot today, man.
Thanks for all you do. Can we look at ETH Holding? Evans. Cheers.
Same W, thanks, dude. Saw that a minute ago. EVX, yeah, we'll look at that for sure once we get to the analysis of these cryptos, maybe the futures, maybe gold, silver. Those markets have just opened up. So here's Bitcoin, man. Right, we saw it 80,500 low on Friday. Saturday was the lowest. Yesterday was the lowest daily candle close we've seen on Bitcoin since April 20th. Is that a joint? Now a bullish engulfing candle in the making with no shadow on the bottom side, really. And I guess they're recapturing this nasty downtrend, this channel recapturing. So maybe tomorrow they pull it back and we see 85.2 and they confirm the old demand line as a demand line again before running maybe to like 91K plus, because they might want to squeeze some shorts but also put a lower high in, maybe formally regard a level as resistance on a back test, maybe hit the heart line of the channel. I mean, you do probably have some upside here without an edge, okay? I'm not saying there's an edge that implies higher prices. I'm just saying, like, due to the nature of support resistance, there's just not much here. I mean, in fact, you know what? If you want to be really nasty about this, I mean, just look here. You know, a swing high from March, a multitude of times, even April, they tested as resistance before marking down. So that seems like that's maybe what they're testing right now. 87.5. But if they break that, all right, if they're able to break that level, I don't think there's any argument with like it being wrong to say that, you know, a target of 91K could be on deck. And that doesn't change anything. Understand, on the daily, there is no discernible peak until you look back at 107, $107,000 right here. November 10th and 11th, the bearish back test of that old major level we've been talking about for over a year now. That is your most recent discernible swing high. So that's what you'll have to recapture at some point to be able to definitively say that the trend is reversing. That's a insurmountable amount of price appreciation. And with just everything going on, man, all these rumors and all this, it's like FUD, but it's maybe not. It might be true. MSCI, like the rumor is that MicroStrategy is going to get kicked off of it and the fund's going to collapse and whatever. You know, it's really hard to say. But the technicals here are just like we're in a downtrend for now. And that's been the case. It's definitely been the case longer on altcoins. But yeah, rallies happen in downtrends, even if they're weak, pathetic joke rallies. You get them, and you're probably overdue for some sort of little rally, okay? And we're just talking about upside targets, 87.5, right? Obviously, they got to break that. But to do that, if they do that, 91.2 to pretty much 92.8. You break 92.8, my God, there's a ton of upside. Like, they could take it straight up to 99.3 if that happens. Because that's historically what occurs when they recapture 93K, all right? So that's all we got going. Going for a daily engulfing candle up against some sort of resistance support from earlier this year. Not a big one, but it's there. We just looked at it. So let's look at the weekly and see how that's going to close. Well, when we're looking at the weekly now, we always want to pull up that 50 moving average because that was the key characteristic of this correction pullback downturn we got, where in this multi-year uptrend we've been in, the buyers have always defended that 50-week simple moving average until last week, and then follow through this week. And one thing that might be cool, one thing that might help us is we are 886 bros here. We love 886 retraces, 88.6% retraces from previous major discernible swing lows to swing highs. Okay, so that's it, man. You can eye test it. It might not be exactly 886, but it's very close, right? Low to high. My God, if they didn't just like pretty much perfectly test it, 80,375, we hit a low point of 80,524. So you were like less than $200 away from that 886 before a bounce. A kind of random bounce happened. I mean, it wasn't anywhere strategic, but there you go. Once again, a deep retrace. You haven't gotten those at all. I mean, the retraces we gotten have been way more shallow. I think this was like a 55% retrace from the previous low to high. Low to high. Yeah, I mean, it was a 58% retrace. And then the one before that, or the one after that, this one, and I guess we were looking at this one, but this one right here, even if you try to say this is the swing low to high, it was a 50% retrace. So this has been obviously the deepest retrace we've had of any pullbacks of this multi-year uptrend. So obviously below the 20 as well. And typically, I'm just saying, moving average worlds, I don't really care about it that much because it's not something I'm utilizing for constructing trading plans at all, but it does kind of help with trend analysis stuff, like kind of the cardinal rule of having your three moving averages, the 50, the 20, the 200. If the the trend is unable to defend the 50, the 20 and the 50, they will typically attempt to go to the 200. And like that's at right now 55,825. No one would believe it. But also what could happen is at this point, we could begin a rally. Dude, on the weekly, they could take this thing to 107. They could take it to 109 on the weekly. You wouldn't even believe it. And then roll over from here before going lower. I mean, that's the problem when you have these massive moves like this. The amount of work that buyers would have to put in to reversing the trend at this point, it's insurmountable. It's too much. So it's going to be hard to really trust these rallies going forward at this point. Okay, sure, people can make money and stuff, obviously, right? Short squeezes happen, but yeah, that's a pretty brutal drawdown we had. I mean, I think it was like Bitcoin was down 25% in 10 days, the largest crypto asset in the world. That's insane, man. I'm not trying to be negative or anything. This is just how it is, and there was no different verbiage when we were looking back here, like last time when this huge drawdown occurred. You get huge wicks, right? You get weeks of chop, and then they continue it downward, and then you went through like from January 2022 to April. I mean, multiple months of bear flag, a literal bear flag on the weekly and daily, like this. And it was crazy. They took it to the max threshold of this flag too. I mean, how many days? I mean, it was like 80-something, 90-something days of bearish consolidation. Where this is what I'm talking about. The amount of effort and bidding that would have to come in to reverse the trend at that point wasn't going to happen. So buyers are going to attempt their rallies at this point, and they can go higher than you could even dream of, and they're still not going to be able to even come close to rallying the previous discernible swing high we've had on this weekly, which is literally the all-time high. This is almost a straight line down. You've had 1 week since the all-time high of a green candle. How insane is that? Like from the all-time high now at this point to where we are right now. I mean, 31% in 42 days, but at the lowest point, you were down 36% 42 days. So just keep that in mind, right? I mean, good luck, you know. Good luck on everything. It's going to be really tough, man. But that's okay. Like, I mean, I don't understand. Like, we had a multi-year uptrend in... yeah. Okay. Let's look at total market cap. Did anything technical happen on total that would change anything? Mother of God, not really. I mean, at least they're recapturing 2.9 trillion, which is an old candle close, all-time high candle close from November 2021, the cycle top. They are recapturing that today. But I just don't, you know, they got to recapture 3 trillion, 3.01 trillion, and then they're going to have to eventually make a higher high than the previous high from November 11th. It's going to be a lot of work. And then, you know, like even if they rally this, you would still need something like this to happen in order to feel confident that anything positive is even happening. And even at that point, you're not making higher highs. Yeah, you're just in a really tough trend situation in crypto. And it's just, that's the way it is. I'm sorry. Ethereum up 1%, which is really sad. I mean, dude, you got Bitcoin that was just up like almost 4% at the highs. And now you've got Ethereum below a very key level. Very, very key level. And you're at the harmonic optimum price. They virtually invalidated it, but not with the candle close. Like, they're right at it. You can't trust anything bullish, anything. Because we understand, in downtrends, if you identify something bullish, it could very well be unreliable. And if it is unreliable, then it will oftentimes underperform. So, like, say you start reacting at a level that makes sense, the performance could be miserable on that reaction, and it rolls over way sooner than anyone could even believe. And you wake up, it's down another 6-7%. So I got major issues with Ethereum below this $2,900 to $3,000 range. Just like I had, there was no reason to own Ethereum below $3,950, and then it became a point to, again, no reason to own Ethereum below $3,580. No reason to own Ethereum below $3,000. rally that occurs here is going to be a short squeeze. It's going to be random. There's not going to be really any reason why it rallies. And that's just more of the whole, casino slot machine thing where if you don't have structures, you don't have strategy. If you don't have structures, you don't have an edge. You do not have a greater than 50% chance of a particular outcome. And that's just gambling. That's like straight up putting it all on red or black at the roulette table. So sucks, man. Like, this is long extended, and like they can't even create divergence. Look at that. They were starting to try to, and it's like, nah, man, they kept marking it down. And then it's like you have bearish convergence on the RSI, even though it's oversold. I understand. Lowest level seen since April. Right? So you can't even say there's bullish divergence at all. But yeah, a rally could occur. They take it to 3,000, bearish back test. They break 3,000. They could rally it. They could take it to 20 or 3,500, and it'd still be a lower high than the high we just recently saw in November when they bearishly back tested that before rolling over. You understand how insurmountable things are for trend reversal behavior? Yeah, you just got a hopium prayer that a 1.9 harmonic optimum price of a bullish wave structure catches bids, and it really hasn't yet. Man, dude, I want to come live on these streams and be like, bro, this happened, and it's amazing. Bullish backtest of key level, local forms of confirmation, hidden bullish divergence, good trend. We don't have any of that. We just don't. I can't make it happen. They killed the crypto market October 10th. They just did. All right, that's Ethereum. Let's look at BNB for a second. Whatever. Okay, it's bouncing. They hit the 200 moving average. They lost it. All right, if you're below 860.92, not much to do. Just look at it. Again, any sort of reflexive rally is going to manifest into the lowest high of the downtrend, and then it will roll over later. If you have any help, dude, they were trying to paint divergence, and they failed. It's the same thing. You just have bearish convergence. They got to oversold. They hit the lowest RSI since February of this year. Whew. All right. Again, reactions occur, rallies occur, short squeezes occur, like funding rates negative. People that are too short have to get liquidated. So they could do stuff like that, man. Do not be surprised that occurs. But again, it's going to be random. It's not going to be because there was this very strong edge on the charts. XRP up 5+%. Wow, dude. Out of support, bids came in. It's the most surprising thing I've ever seen in my entire life, right? At a level where mega reversals have occurred, a reversal has occurred at least a little bit. And the problem is, right, just because you hit a support, you have a ton of people that had limit buys set up here. You had tons of people covering their short position, which equates to buying back. And that is, and then yesterday you kind of did have like a morning star doji reversal, catch and fall through today. So again, a little, right, you get rallies and downtrends, don't you? You get tons of them. Like, what were some of these that we got? I mean, you had a 17% rally in 15 days. Look, you had a 15% rally in 6 days. Look, you had from this low here, October, you had my God, man, you had a 24% rally in 11 days. Look at this one. The most recent one. You had a 25% rally in 6 days. And who's to say that you can't get another 25% rally in 6-7 days off of support? And then what happens? It turns into a lower high than previous high, and they roll over and they retest this level again. And who knows at that point, because they could be absorbing the last remaining demand here, and they finally do break it. And if they did break it and the buyers did not defend this support, you could use your imagination to where XRP could wind up in the future. So it's tough, man. Real tough. Like, this is what I'm talking about when you identify divergence in a downtrend. Here's a low, the lower low on price locally, lesser levels. You get a rally, right? But that rally is pathetic, and it turns into all you get is this amount of positive momentum before they rug it again. They rug pull it and they turn it to the low. They take it to the lowest price of the downtrend. So that's what I'm talking about lack of reliability on your indicators, your oscillators, pattern recognition. It's a lot harder in downtrends, so keep that in mind. There is technically, all right, there could be potentially a decent amount of upside on XRP above 196. History shows you that. I mean, minimum 223. It's just like, when are they going to pull the rug again, man? Because you're in a downtrend. Yep. The least surprising of them all, XRP at support, they bounced it. Wow. Remember, this was target 2 of a short trade setup from up here. This was the conclusion of that short. Makes all the sense in the world. Okay. I'm rooting for all the cryptos, man. I want them to go higher. You don't understand. Just because I'm speaking trend analysis does not mean I want these things to go to zero. If these were in higher low situations, I'd be all over it, man. I'd be so excited to talk to you about it, but hold on, I got my... All right. Let's see. So those are your bigger Solana. Kind of, right? What is this, man? What is it? It's like they're kind of holding a level. Like, this is the harmonic optimum price, the threshold of validity of a bullish wave structure. You're at support. It's like, it's a no-brainer. Of course they're going to hold this level, right? Of course this is where you're going to have a nice reaction reversal to the upside. But it hasn't really happened yet. And that's what's so garbage about this market. It's like, hello, when real bids? When are we going to get this? And then this, like, when's it going to happen? It hasn't happened yet. It's crazy. This is the zone for it. We're waiting, chat. So Solana, you can't be surprised if some bids come in here, because look left, my God, every single time outside of that in April, that was the tariff capitulation stuff. My God, that was different. But every other time, man, and it's support resistance, you think, oh, they'll do it again. But my only concern, I tweeted about this, you saw it last week when I was live. I mean, the only concerning thing about this is, okay, you are testing that neckline of this potential massive structure, momentum shifting structure. And this is like where you think, okay, on the daily, it's overdue. You're at Fibonacci hops, you're at supports. It makes sense for a rally to occur. So, all right, let's wick it up. And they could look, the problem with Solana on the monthly is they could take this effing thing to 190, and then they conclude the rally and then dump again, and it's the lowest high. It's like more evidence of less market participants than before. That's what's just so crappy about all these cryptos now. You look at their charts and it's like, man, it's just like, how did this team get in this situation where they're having to like win, like they're beholden to referees to win the game? Or how did they get in a position where they have no timeouts in the fourth quarter with 1 minute left? Like that's where crypto is right now. It's like, how did it get to this point to where you could score 3 touchdowns and you still lose the game? That kind of crap. So yeah, bounce here on the daily, and then what? You got to recapture 208.80 on the monthly to completely invalidate this. Yeah, overwhelming adversity, insurmountable adversity. But hey, man, you could rally here, maybe. Yep. Sorry, man. Sorry, crypto sucks. Let's look at these. I mean, whatever, dude. Let's Zcash. Remember, that's been all the buzz. That's all the hot girl summer going on. Up 11.7%. It was up 16 plus 18% earlier. But yeah, they dumped this thing this weekend. But the buyers have. It seems like they've defended 491. You can thank Bitcoin for, Bitcoin not dumping has probably prevented this level from breaking 475. You look left. What is that? 475. My God, you got to go all the way back, dude, to 2018. Actually, it's like the listing ICO or Bitfinex listing price right there. That's something like 2016, and then 2018 it flipped to resistance. Right? Is that yeah? Resistance. Look, confirmation, local confirmation too. So that is what they're defending. They're attempting to defend and they did that, I think, just because Bitcoin rallied 3% plus. All right, bullish engulfing candle will be confirmed in 26 minutes. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this trend. This trend is actually in an uptrend, despite a channel or anything that I'm trying to conceptualize. This is the previous swing low, like 445, 450. Yeah, I think like it might be over for Zcash if they break 475 due to the nature of its history. A lot of downside below that, but until they break that, you're still uptrending. You're still potentially putting in your highest low of uptrend. It's kind of insane. There's like a couple more that look like this that are in the same subsector of crypto, my privacy coin. But other than that, it's all the same, dude. It's like you show me one S coin, I'll show you the rest. Like for instance, I don't know, like Algorand, it's up, dude. It's almost up 6% today. But does it even matter? I mean, you've lost all these levels. You just recently hit your lowest level since November of last year. You're still like unable to break a supply line. You're just below key levels, 16.6 cents. Is there divergence? Yeah, there's a little bit of bullish divergence on Algorand on the daily. There is a low and then the slightly lower low locally. Okay, maybe impending price action reversal on Algo. Again, remember what I just said. Outside of the liquidation event, okay, if that didn't exist, it'd be the lowest level in over a year. I mean, we can just look at random ones, right? Like, I don't know. Theta coin was the last time I looked at Theta. Dude, like, there's just nothing about this that, like, what did Theta just do? Outside of the liquidation event, it was the lowest price since August of 2020, over 5-year lows. Literally yesterday and the day before on the close. There's just nothing we can do in crypto right now. It's very unfortunate. Just overwhelming downtrend. VeChain doing things? Yeah, the baddest things you can imagine. Okay. What happened yesterday? Technically, by like half a cent, a quarter of a cent. It was the lowest daily candle close we had seen since November. 5-year lows on the close yesterday and the day before and the day before that. Outside of, like, yeah, again, this is where traders are settling up lower than, they did the day of that October 10th history, with only the most recent events being lower highs, lower lows, and then formal bearish back test, confirmation of that. I mean, that's what you flip the chart over and you're like, these are dreamish, godlike pieces of price action. This is what you always have wanted in uptrends, but it's just the other way around. Sucks. Yeah, it's sad, man, when Bitcoin's up over $2,000, 2.6% right now, and you got GRT at 1%. What's GRT? Dude, you know what happened? What happened yesterday, chat? GRT, all-time lows. Day before, Friday, all-time lows. Look, they hit a support back from 2022. Okay. And this is what I'm talking about. You can identify a bullish reversal pattern. You can identify positive price action, correlation to key levels from history, right? And you get moves like this, but the trend's so bad, you're in such a well-defined downtrend that all they do in the end is make lower highs than previous highs, and then you make lower lows than previous lows. The level gets tested again a few days ago, last week, and they lost it. And that's like what I'm talking about with, like, Bitcoin could go to 91.5, bro. It could go to 106K, and it's still going to be, unfortunately, in downtrend territory. Because your most on the weekly, your most recent discernible high was all-time highs at 126. Dude, I can't believe this guy is being so mean, right? I can imagine. I haven't even read chat yet, okay? Because, like, I know people are going to be, like, pissed about it. And it's just like, yeah, people talk crap and hate when I talk like this. But it's like, okay, well, how about Cardano? We'll hit target areas for sure, and it's disgusting 2025 downtrend. You know what happened, like, this weekend, like Friday evening or something? Like, some random guy in a Discord server, he vibe hacked Cardano and completely disrupted their protocol, like straight up one guy. And then the founder, creator of this coin, Hoskinson's son, he legit called the FBI on the guy. How was it that guy's, and I read that the guy, like, reported it, and like did the things that you do, I guess, if you're not doing nefarious things, he reported it. And he still got reported to the FBI by the founder of this coin for breaking his protocol and messing it all up. So that's crypto. This is a top 10 crypto that is getting like hacked by one guy in his basement in his underwear. But dude, go ahead, call me a hater for just literally saying those things that happened. So what happened yesterday on Cardano? Lowest daily close since November 2024. You almost lost the entire election. I can't even believe it's higher than it was the day of the election. By a lot. By like, wow, 20-something%. Like November 4th, 5th. I mean, it is literally up. My God, 22%. Still off those the election catalyst that pumped everything in crypto. But as you can see, it was a pump and bleed, a pump and long, methodical death march. Baton death march, all right? 37 cents, you wait for it. But understand, if you're around this level and you're so destroyed, you're oversold, some sort of short squeeze rally could occur, and they could roll it over below this high at 60 cents. They could 886 it, and then it just continues lower. I mean, it's just, there's no edge. There is no structure. It's just impulsing down and is hitting supports and has been completely annihilated in a very short period of time. I mean, think about it. Cardano down 36% from its high to low in 10 days. 36% gone. And the amount of people using Cardano, I looked it up because I was kind of interested in that thread. The amount of people utilizing this blockchain service on this platform is at its lowest level in over 6+ years. And you should see the chart. It's just straight down. It's just like, oh, it bleeds out. And it only, the pump from 2021, 2022, it's just been a death bleed, almost like the chart. But worse, actually, because the price might be at levels not seen in a year. But again, the users of this crypto, which is, I figured like, oh, the value of a crypto is in its ecosystem and the people utilizing it. And it's at levels way below what we saw in prices in 2022. I mean, we're talking, you have to go back. This chart doesn't even show it, I don't think. Maybe it's down here at 10, 11, 9 cents or something. It's about where we were at, but maybe it was like 2020. But yeah, it's just terrible, man. Like, wow, the price, don't you think the price should catch up with its active users? The price should be where it was. Yeah, okay, anyway. That's the only way you can gauge value is users utilizing the ecosystem of the blockchain, and it's terrible. I don't know. That's just like me looking at Cardano. We could probably look at a bunch of other ones, and it might be worse. Like the non-top 10 ones. All right, we could do, to get your hopes up or make you feel a little better, look at a positive chart in the crypto space. How about US dollar tether dominance? Well, we're in a long-term uptrend.
Lizard, 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 lizard.
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 Thanks, dude. Yeah, lizards, dude. Lizards in the chat. Yeah, so, okay, if they pull it back here to maybe back test 5.7%, 5.475%, it would be the highest low of the uptrend. Right, they test, higher, low, accumulation. I know people in Discord were looking at it and it's like, my God, they would post it. They'd ping me and be like, oh my God, I want to throw up. I want to be sick. Because you just knew, like, structurally, these are all these lows are higher than these lows. So the trend is still your friend, which is bullish, a bullish trend for US dollar dominance. So, yeah, pullbacks could happen, and the trend's not going to reverse to the downside anytime soon. I mean, what'd you do on, what'd you do literally yesterday on a Saturday, chat? What'd you do? Oh, it was the highest daily candle close since September of 2024. If you go any higher on a candle close, it'll be like the highest daily candle close since like somewhere in November 2023. Yeah, so. Okay, whatever, bro. No one said it got hacked, bro. No one said it got hacked. But they did mess up the protocol. of Cardano. Don't even lie, bro. Don't even act like that didn't happen. If you have the developer, the creator of a coin calling the FBI on you, you did something to mess up the crypto. So don't even act like it's not a big deal. It was a big deal. One guy can do it. It's not a good thing. Go ahead, keep white knighting these devs and keep white knighting crypto. Cardano's been around a really long time. What real world problems has it solved? It has solved nothing. It has done nothing to make this world a better place. How many companies have utilized its services for real? Wouldn't these cryptos like get bought out, you know, if they were really doing something that could actually make money and have an ROI? Yeah, they would. Companies get bought out all the time. How many cryptos are getting bought out by publicly traded companies? I thought that was the way it was going to probably go back in the day, but they're still not doing it. No companies buying cryptos. And talking about the actual crypto itself, the protocol, blockchain. All right. So let's go to the futures, the U.S. futures. All cryptos are Colts, dude. All of them. Okay, here are the futures. We gapped up. Nice. But what does that mean? Nothing. Okay, there's an unfilled gap that needs to fill. It'll fill probably by morning. 66. It's just so close. And really about this, you're starting to get into trouble here a little bit where they're going to have to put in higher highs than previous highs to reassume this trend. And the characteristics of this local price action are different than what we've seen since April, since the bottom got put in. We have not in any way put in consecutive lower highs and then lower lows locally. We haven't at all. There has not been one local lower low really, maybe October 10th, but they came in after that and put in higher lows. And the context before that October 10th day was the highest high we've ever seen. So you don't have that anymore. You have a high, you have a low, you have a lower high, you now have a lower low than previous low. And in ways, you could almost look at like this right here as a third peak. You go to the lesser time scales. Oh yeah, and then you have like you can't even see on the daily the high, the low, the lower high, and then you see two highs substantially lower than this high. What's going on? And then bearish back test of this old local high. Oh yeah, look at this. Look what they did. You had these highs right here from October, early October. They broke, then they confirmed them as resistance, and then you had this massive drawdown. Then you made a lower low locally, and this low, all the lows, the lowest low. And so what could happen? They could literally take this thing all the way up here, man, and it would be the lowest high of this short-term downtrend. You're like downtrending right now, at least I think a little bit. I'm not saying long-term downtrend. I'm not even saying mid-term downtrend. I'm talking short-term downtrend based on evidence, which is price action, which is swing highs and lows. And again, you put in the lowest low, you rally. Everything's suspect until they're recapturing 67, 67. Then you still have other highs that you have to recapture. Then after that, you'd have to make higher lows on all these lows. And then if that happens, then we can start talking about maybe things are recovering and it's all good. It was just a bad dream. But yeah, that for now isn't great. We're not in a good spot right now on the index funds because they've never done this whole rally, this whole year-long uptrend we've been in, or at least since April, however many months it is, like 8 months, 7, 8 months, all higher highs, higher lows. This is different. All right, look how the correlation of this is just the 4-hour time scale. Since we recaptured it in April, you haven't even tested it. You started testing it, and it started becoming like the level that was defended. Okay, it started getting violated, but they were still recapturing it violently. Then they were recovering and putting in lows, local lows that were higher than that moving average. And now it's like complete opposite. You're correlating negatively to this moving average with lower highs, lower lows. So anyway, again, I'm not trying to hold on. Okay. Does that make sense? I'm not trying to make people feel bad or scared or anything. If you watch my streams all summer, we were discussing this demand line that was being defended. It's like, no way they're doing it. No way. This is crazy. This is amazing. This is the highest low we've ever put in. Oh my God, we're breaking to all-time highs, and they run it up to the 1414. Whoa, and then eventually we almost hit a 1618 fib extension, and that was it. How crazy is that? You know, that the previous all-time high from February to the April low, they took it to the golden mean ratio of those the Fibonacci anchor points. And ever since then, it's now lower highs, lower lows locally. And that hasn't happened. So just make of that what you will. I'm not telling you to sell everything. The trend's over. We're going into bear market. I'm not saying any of that, dude. So the Dow Jones, nice bullish engulfing candle, well, almost engulfing candle on Friday. And now we gapped up. They'll fill that gap. It's not a big deal. They could still run it. But remember, you know, you just made your highest high ever. But it's going to take a lot of effort to get back above that and to resume this uptrend. So I think the Dow Jones futures looks a little bit better for sure than the Dow Jones or than the S&P and the Nasdaq futures. Yeah, this is the worst, man. This one makes me kind of a little nauseous because again, it's like a more profound S&P. It's like a nastier S&P chart. Because those big tech stocks have really been taken on the chin. And just look what's going on. I mean, first off, we lost the beautiful channel, but then like again, forms of confirmation, that 200 moving average, same way you're looking at the S&P. You just made a lower low than the previous lows. So any rally that occurs here, they can go test 25,000 psychological level perfectly, and it still ends up being a lower high than the previous highs at 27 or 25.2. So things have turned for the worse for now, but right, there's going to be a supply line at some point they're going to have to test. It's going to be tough to the momentum, right? The seller momentum, they've kind of taken control for a little while, and you're going to get big squeezes and all that, but it's just different. So looking left, you know, what they did do is there was this support, 24K, like a swing high from August, swing low, September, October, right? That was that crazy day. They have defended that. And you can understand why initially they test it and bids come in because shorts cover, there are scalpers out there. So far, this is just not enough. Like that's like, yeah, no doubt. Of course, a level. If they break it, it's capitulation. But like they're holding it for now, and it just pay attention to what kind of rally we get. Because if the rally concludes lower than 25.2, it's the lowest high of the short-term downtrend, and we're going to come for a retest of that level. And if we might not be very fortunate on the second test because they break it, and then all of a sudden you're targeting for like 23K. Remember, this is what happens when there's no support resistance looking left. This is all you got is local stuff manufactured like this summer, few months ago. So below 24 is 23. Below 23 is virtually 22.2. So I'm not saying it's over for the stock market. I'm not Michael Burrying this stuff. I'm just telling you there are technical characteristics that are opposite of what we've seen the entire uptrend we've been in this summer, well, from April to now, April to the all-time high in late October. So gold and silver not saving anybody, and great segue. Let me do just one more. Let me just do the small caps, and then we'll go to gold and silver. All right. Again, NASDAQ hitting a 161, a golden mean ratio. What a perfect level for a short-term reversal, you know. Yeah, that candle, I'm just being real. That candle on Friday was not good. You had this nasty bearish engulfing candle, and this is the candle after. That's this indecision, nothing burger candle. I don't think that's anything. It's not a Steve Neeson situation or no invalidation of that candle yet. So they got to go fill that gap. They'll do that, and even if we do fill it, we rally. But again, anything below 25.2, any rally that concludes below $25,200 in the NASDAQ is very bad. Very bad. That means it's going to be probable we get a 24K retest. Okay, US 2000. Big bullish engulfing candle, you know, on Friday. That was crazy, man. But again, that is it. 2368 is a key level from 2021. They did recapture that, but remember, it's all about now we look at lesser time scales and we look at the price action. And it's like, well, the lowest low, the lowest high, the lowest low before, the lowest high, lowest low, lowest high, right? It is a consecutive lower high, lower low situation. And I mean, like 2464, I mean, the fact that we up thrusted and spent time above it, remember, that was an all-time high level. And then they couldn't do anything. Then they confirmed they couldn't do anything on the second peak, and then they finally lost the level again. Sellers recaptured the old all-time high from 2021, 2464, and then look what they're doing. All of a sudden, the characteristics of the price action has completely reversed, where no longer higher highs, higher lows. You're going lower highs, and then you're getting a lower low locally, and then you're getting confirmation that 2464 level is resistance, along with the 200, and now a flush, a lower low. And then look, these two highs are confirming way less than before, than the previous highs even. So any rally you get that concludes below 2464 is going to be the lowest high of downtrend, and then it will continue. So it's just kind of gnarly right now. It's not great trend-wise. Short-term downtrend and a long-term uptrend. Okay, and price action and swing highs and swing lows that are higher will begin to reverse that, but we don't have evidence of that yet. We have to wait for that data to come in to be able to start saying, hey man, buyers are beginning to recapture the momentum with the higher lows. And then maybe some higher highs come in, and then higher lows again. And all of a sudden we can say, hey man, trends beginning to reverse back into the hands of the buyers, but not for now. We don't have that yet. All right. Now let's go to gold and silver. Someone was like, at the beginning of the stream, silver's doing something. Now people are saying gold, silver's not going to save. I don't know. Let's look at it. Dude, gold's literally fine here, man. What are you talking about? Above 4,000, you're good, I think. I mean, it looks bad because, yeah, the lower high. But the most recent event for now is just the highest low we've ever seen. And sellers really tried on Friday, and they couldn't do anything. And you're just sitting here above supports. I mean, to some degree, like a swing high from October 8th, a swing high from October 31st, the swing lows now. I mean, they're trying to hold it. So yeah, no value, of course. This is like all-time high premium. No one's going to argue with that. But the trend is certainly your friend right now, okay? One lower high does not reverse a trend, especially when the most recent event for now is a higher low. Now you start breaking 4K and you start coming to 39.20, they still aren't reversing the trend until you really break that. Then you know a lower high and a lower low. Yeah, you could start talking about trend reversal stuff. So 1 second. My groceries came in. I got to put a couple things in the fridge. Hang tight. It's going to take me 2 seconds. Hit the like button, the bell, the sub if you're here. And you're at least covering you're enjoying the coverage of this. I'm sorry that the data's not been great. But gold's okay. Better than crypto right now. All right, I've returned. Sorry about that. Told you it wouldn't take long. Thanks for the 700 plus people tuned in, and thanks for all the likes, love, support, contributions, everything, all the stuff, man. Yeah, so gold's okay for now. Like, there's nothing wrong with gold. Let's look at silver. Silver, people are like, it's a double top. It's a coupled handle. It is look, man, you're above 50. You're above 49. 50 is a psychological level, okay? They defended it twice. It's kind of crazy. And then you got 49.40. The old all-time high from April of 2011, okay? The price is still above that right now. Still above the old all-time high. So really tough in the short term because, like, I think it's, you got a lower high than the previous high. But then they dumped it on Friday and then recovered it to recapture the levels. Maybe go to the 4 hour or something. I don't know. See, that almost looks like a bullish dragon pattern. Like, right? I mean, I bet you there might be divergence. The slightly lower low at the key level. Look, resistance, and then you have the 49.80, the old all-time high from 2011. Support. 2 failed attempts from sellers to break it. Oh my God, dude, no way, right? So they're like 4 hour. Silver's showing that maybe sellers are a little exhausted. We have a recognizable structure that if they can continue to hold above $50, 49.40, they could be getting ready to create the dragon tail. So don't sleep on silver, because you are in a long-term uptrend. Remember that. Long-term uptrend. You're putting in potentially the highest lows in the history of silver. This is in no way could I talk about crypto like this, but I'm showing you an asset that actually is in a long-term uptrend, has most recently made its highest high ever, same high, whatever, and is now putting in possibly the highest lows with an edge, with, like, at least on the 4 hour, seller exhaustion. And you look, they're recapturing the 200 simple moving average somehow. So it's just kind of like obviously there's no value on this asset. I mean, it's premium, man, all-time highs, but the trend is really good. And so you have some recognizable, more bullish bias pattern in development in that uptrend. So you could be like, oh, a potentially bullish pattern developing in a bullish trend could be way more reliable. And if it's reliable, if this ends up being reliable, its performance is probably going to be good too. It could outperform because it's in an uptrend. So you might be looking at a test of 54.24, the old all-time high, or 54.50, whatever. So it's just interesting, right? We're looking at a completely different asset class, and the double top bros are in, but the double top bros don't understand that you have to break the neckline to confirm it as a double top. You're not even close. New day. Oh yeah, Bitcoin. Oh my God, man. Yes, Voodoo. Yeah, Voodoo. Might be, if you can put it in the Coinbase type, can you put it in the actual contribution or in the transaction? I think it'll show up if you do that. Voodoo, did you tip already, or were you going to, or were you just asking about it? So silver, actually, wow, I'm intrigued. And I think, like, this could be a valid idea. Like, someone could, like, long this and just have a stop loss, maybe just below 49, or I'm sorry, like, yeah, $49. They could just have a stop there because, like, your argument is above 49.40 and especially 49.80. I'm wondering here, man. And I think your big time target for trend wise would be $54 again. So pay attention to silver that looks on the daily not great, right? I mean, it doesn't look especially great on the daily, but you scale into the lesser time scale, there could be a way to manage your risk at least optimally. There is no argument owning silver or thinking that idea is valid until they lose 49.40, okay? Yeah, that's all I got. It could easily dump to. It could be a potential double top in the making, and your piece of data to really help with that would be, oh, here's your highest high. You know, you're confirming the top, and then you put in a local lower high, and that could be them offloading. So it's tough. It's not like your conventional, oh, dude, the BABA trade or the ACHR trade or the Exos trade, right? It's not like those. Those are no-brainers, TNDM. It's not like those. we're trying to make sense of the largest market cap assets in the world. And every day we look at them, and we already know 98, 99% of the time you look at any chart on any given day, it's not going to have the variables that we want for a trade setup. That is going to literal 65, 70% chance of positive resolution, what we're looking for. Most of the time you're not going to have it. So again, I'm looking at silver. I'm trying to make sense of it. I think there could be an argument on the seller side that we're cooked, but also the 4 hours like maybe we're not. All right. Let's see here. My music stopped. One sec. Can we an audio check? Sorry, the stream's probably ruined if the audio hasn't been good. Voodoo, yeah, you could type in the ticker right now. And if I get a crypto contribution, I'll know it's you, and we'll look at that asset, all right? And a mod will help me with that too, manage that. All right. I don't see any wrenches in here, do I? The last wrench was Brad. Brad's the only mod in stream right now, and we got 700 plus people here. Oh my god, dude. All right, so maybe we're screwed, maybe we're not. Let's I mean, that's kind of like the big ones. Let's look. We did have one request or two requests. I can't remember. Let's go to the weekly because Bitcoin closed. All right. Well, here's Bitcoin's daily. It was a bullish engulfing candle. Congratulations. They did recapture this channel's, threshold. You're back in it, man. But remember, 87.5. That's, you look left locally, or not locally, but you do look like from March, and you see swing highs and price action there. You can almost take it further. You could say, like, my God, dude. So they hit all-time highs, and then this candle closed here, and then it reversed again. And then it's like ever since then, they've been regarding it. And here you are. You just tested it as resistance, and that's as far as you go. That's as far as you're taking it on the daily. And so, to me, that's not enough to get excited about anything. Let's look at the weekly here. And we must play Jesus Chimes, as we do traditionally.
Straight tip $25. I'm looking at IQ. Are you think a 2.102.05 retest is valid, or should I be thinking more dramatic? Also Jonathan Nation. Also if you're in NY, stop by Isaiah, I'll you up, brother.
Oh, what was that? The last part? If I'm in NY, stop by? What is Isaiah? By Isaiah, I'll you up, brother. Bro, Stray, can you try that again? Because I don't understand what you mean, but thank you, dude. NYC, it's just like, I went to NYC last year in the winter. It was miserable, man. You can't be outside for more than a minute or two, and it's so, that cold through the buildings is gut-wrenching. I mean, I love, like, going the summer is awesome. But my God, NYC in the winter. And then it's like, I escaped a freaking blizzard snowstorm. I was on the plane, and it was coming down. It was like, I was about to, they were about to ground flights. So it was like a lot of, like, craziness. But, yeah, whatever. Club Marquee was cool. But, yeah. I like New York kind of for summertime, spring, autumn. But thank you, dude. What was that first request? EVEX. EVEX. Let's take a look, man. Eve Holding. I think we've been here recently. Yep, there you go, man. I mean, it still could be a thing, but this is the problem when you try to identify structures when they're not correlating in any way at or above a key level. Right? It still may be okay, but that was bad, man. Like, that was, you lose 364, which they kind of did, and it maybe there's no reason to own, but maybe locally they put in a lower low double bottom and run it. But yeah, I mean, it's not dead yet, because they'd probably have to take it closer to $3 to kill it. But man, it's just hard to manage your risk, because you want these structures to develop when there's, like, you would wish that there was some sort of support from history right here. So it would make way more sense to be able to have an idea of where you'd set your stop strategically. You don't have that here. It's just randomly for the first time trying to put in a bottom. That's the problem with this one, and always has been. So, yeah, it was a really bad weekly close. It was down 11.22%. Aerospace and defense, lowest weekly candle close confirmed since probably like April 7th. I mean, what is that? That's garbage, dude. So really, if they're losing 361, you're just going to wait for it to hit 314. And at that point, I think the accumulation signature might be dead. Sure. What just happened? Okay. Oh, it's a fine Italian clothing. Oh, wow. Well, I'm really good friends with a guy. I don't know if you've heard of Enzo, Enzo, but he owns that company. And they have 15 plus stores in the U.S., but it's high end, man. Enzo Clothing. He was my neighbor for a long time, but he spends his summers in NYC. He just moved back down here for the winter. Okay, let's go to what is that? I think that was Voodoo. Voodoo, was that you, man? Voodoo Mama Juju? I think it was. Let's see what he said. Let me look for, I think he probably put the ticker in already. I'm going to look it up. Dang, man. Where you at, Voodoo Mama Juju? I know he hadn't said anything. You know it. Oh, wow. F dumping. Also J Phils. Voodoo. Okay, there it is. Yeah, you're right, man. Tezos and Dash. All right. I don't think you want to see him, bro. I think you're going to regret this. I think the whole stream's going to regret it. Tezos, dude. I'll show you here. Worst thing you could have dreamed of on Tezos, dude. Here's your weekly. There was a time, man. There was a time, and things happened, and now it's over. Like, the party is over. And this was a long time ago, man. This was back, yep. All those M shapes were coming around. And now, I don't even know if this is, like, what the... Let me try to find, like, Tezos somewhere else where there's, like, more liquidity or something. Maybe Binance. Oh, my God, dude. Yeah, look at that. That was technically, on Tezos, the lowest weekly candle close maybe ever. On this chart, I don't know. Gosh dang it, man. No, you got more data here on Bitfinex. See, this is the problem. I have to use illiquid exchanges to be able to see all the price, like the history of the asset. And then I'll go to the more liquid exchanges, and they don't have all the price history. It's such a garbage market, man, having to do that. So what? Tezos made its lowest weekly candle close since March 2019. So, I mean, there's nothing about this that's good. Nothing. Well, so remember that. All-time lows is around like the 35s, 34s, whatever, with candle closes. That's probably your target. I think, you know, if they bounce it here, it'll be a substantially lower high than any high we've seen. And you'll be going, I think that's your target. The liquidation events swing low is the target for a retest. 37 cents or so. Okay? That's Tezos, dude. It's gross. Really gross. And then the other one was what? Dash. Okay, and Dash one's better, but like I think the party might be ending possibly for Dash. Yeah, dude. Like, you gotta be... I mean, what a nasty bearish engulfing candle confirmed. And they confirmed... Wow, look at that. They broke it. With candle close confirmation on the weekly, they broke 56.76, which is a swing low back from 2018. You could have made it a little... Yeah, that was it, man. So on the new week, it's down 1.5%. But, dude, just think about FOMO, what FOMO can do to you. It can ruin your life, man. Buying into an asset that is, like, anomalous, you know, since the top, you know, it's down 65% in 3 weeks. 65% losses from that FOMO 150. So you might be targeting now for 39 bucks, right? Straight down, up, down, up, up, down, up. Like, I mean, it's just like, that's it. I mean, if it loses 56 historically, typically you're just looking for a $39 to $40 target down here. So just, I mean, that's an ugly 34% bearish engulfing candle just concluded. Criminal. Oh, and then look, they put the lower high in. Look at the formal bearish back test of 104.23. 104.23 is not a joke, dude. Look, reversal 2018, reversal 2019, reversal 2020. Look, support in 2021. You can't spring back test in 2021. You cannot tell me that this is not a very, very significant level. And all they did was dead cat bounce and dumped.
Isaiah is a competitor. Suede overshirts, man, you would be a G. I know Enzo though.
I don't know Laura Piana or Isaiah, but I don't know if he'll be able to beat my buddy in price for.
Look at ONDS bullish Gartley.
Use it. Thanks for the 20, dude. ONDS, we can look, man. Thanks again. All right. So I think like, yeah, with the suit stuff, I mean, like, I don't know if you'll be able to beat have like this good friendship with this guy. You know, we hung out literally this weekend, you know, multiple days. So I don't know if you'll be able to get better prices than him for me. But if you can, I will be the most surprised man ever and definitely buy a suit, you know, next time I'm up there for sure. I mean, last time I bought a suit was in Manhattan, custom tailored. So yeah, you're in a lot of trouble here on Dash, technically, unless they recapture 55 or 56.76, which, and then they'll rally it. If they did rally it, it would be a lower high, I think, than $100, and then they'd roll it over again. So I think the party's over on Dash. I think that was it. Like, and this is evidence of that. I mean, that huge markdown first off, but then the attempted rally and the bearish back test, and now a lower low than the previous low. Yeah, I think the party's over, and any rally you get will eventually conclude lower than 104. And that would just be more indication of distribution or less than before involved with this asset. So, yeah. Bitcoin down 584 on the new week. Yikes. Thanks again, Voodoo Man, for the $42 and change of Solana, which, my God, man, we might be at 60 if time goes by and that monthly plays out. Even if we rally, it'll be a lower high, and then we roll over, and eventually we're 60 just sometime way later in 2026. So, okay, IQ for Stray. You straying, dude? IQ. We look at this thing every day, man. Just about. Yeah, so, yeah, it wasn't a good close on Friday for a lot of things. It was down almost 3%, but 204, man. You hold it, you're good. They tested the 200-day simple moving average as support on Friday. They can come back down to 204 again. You're just praying to God it doesn't fall below 199. That might be a threshold. You know why? Because that is the top of that inflection zone. You see all this price action you got right here? See what they did? They lost, they rallied, and then you can see 1 and 2 tests here before the run. They're trying to do that again. Same situation. So it is a potential little dragon too, you know, like the X, the A, the B, the C. I guess they could, in the worst case scenario, they could take it lower, oh no, and then rally, and it still would be some sort of potential dragon pattern. So I don't even know if you can get that sick. As long as they make a higher low than 185 or 180, they could still create a potential bullish reversal structure. XABC, and the C wave could be lower than the A wave, and then they take it to an 886 minimum. So, yeah, I mean, it's okay above 204. You said, will they retest 210, 205, or should it be thinking more dramatic? Dramatic. Well, again, like, I think you have an inflection zone, and it's 185 to 204, and they could locally, I guess, breach 204 and go to $2. Could even go to 195 or something and still put in a higher low. than the previous low, and then recapture 204, and that'd be something to look for if that ever happened. So anyway, yep. You're just, look, man, like, we don't act like we know if an asset's going to play out. We don't know if it's going to 519. Did we know that ACHR was going to, you know, triple in value in 6 weeks after the harmonic framework presented itself? Did we know that BABA was actually going to play out and hit all 4 targets, but it took a year? No. Did we know any of the trade setups that have been successful? Did we know for a fact that they were going to play out? No. This could obviously fail, but these give you, there's a higher probability chance, given enough time, above 185 and 204, that you will go higher. Higher probability. Doesn't mean it's certain, though. There's still a chance your pocket aces can get cracked by 3-7 offsuit. But again, it's the numbers game. You keep playing pocket aces against 3-7, you're going to win most of the time. And these harmonic framework setups are pocket aces, ace king, ace queen, GTO style poker. They are. So you just keep searching if you can't find the right ones, man. Okay, let's Bitcoin out the gate down 800 points on the new week, new day. Yikes. ONS, Bullish Gottlieb, Ondas Holdings. Yeah, I remember this one. There's just nothing really. I mean, Bullish Gartley? Nah, it wouldn't be the context. The Gartley you were looking for, sir, was down here. All right. This is the time to care. This is the composite operator. This is the smart money. These are institutions. Okay, this is what's taught here, what we look to identify. After long extended drawdowns, you then have accumulation phases, buying campaigns, key levels from history, violated a lot of chop, and then, you know, they just keep it going like this. And if you ever cared about longing, the best place to long was probably 77 to 81 cents, right around there. And eventually it played out, and now it ran up like 1,000% or something. It was insane, dude. It was literally like 1,500%. And now it's like had a huge correction, and now it's rallying. And now what they're doing, unfortunately, look at lesser time scales. It's not great, man. Like you have, I don't think it's good. I don't like it because you have a high. These highs, they're testing 761, 798. These old highs from 2022 are being respected as resistance now. They've been violated, and now they're being formally regarded as resistance. Below the 200, they are holding on to 574 for now, but until you recapture $8, I think you got to be really kind of concerned. This high, these highs, right? They're way lower than these highs. So I guess above 574, you're technically okay. Sure thing, but $8 is the big threshold. You break $8, then you're going to 950, 1032, and then you still are not going to be making a higher high than the highest highs. So you could be on the other side of the fence. The blow up top could have already happened. Yeah, it was a nice correction, but yeah, I would just say the threshold for tolerance for owning this asset right now is going to be 574. If they lose 574, there's just no reason to be in it. If they can't recapture $8, probably no reason to be in it. So the party on this one, it happened, and now you're looking at like it's 2 a.m. and people are blackout drunk and hitting each other over the head with bottles. You know, here's a high, here's a slightly lower high, but extremely nice bearish correlation to the old swing. Look what happened last time. When the trend reversed, they began utilizing the levels as resistance. Look at these swing highs. I mean, it goes back, man, 850. You had a big drawdown. So I'm just like not really excited about it. I don't think there's enough on the daily to even say there's an edge. I'm just looking at local highs lower, and they're correlating negatively to key levels from history. So I'm not really excited about that. No bearish or no bullish Garley or anything I see, but yeah, chip flipper. That's right, man. All right, I don't even think we get any more requests, man. It's a pretty light day today. Typically, everyone's broke. Everyone held Pundy coin to 0. All right, let's look at gold again. Gold is now like not green on the day. I mean, it could be over for gold. I think you're in a pretty neutral spot, probably on gold and silver, neutral-ish, because a buyer could come in on the lesser time scales, make an argument for higher, and then on the top side, I think sellers could come in with an argument too. And when there's an argument on both sides, based on price action, that's when you know it's flipping coins. Okay. Coin flips on gold and silver, short term. Like on silver, they could literally take this thing down to like $47, and it'd still possibly be a higher low. Like they could do that, chat. So don't even be like thinking it's over for silver for real until probably 45.60 to 46.97. Yeah, that's. I mean, really. There's good downside potential, and it still stays long-term uptrend. And then short-term, I guess if you're above 49.40, you're okay on that little dragon pattern on the 4-hour. So good luck, dude. That's casino. That's roulette table on gold and silver. Short-term. Long-term, you know, man. Like even if gold like corrected, they would make the highest low. A way higher low than all these lows, and then pivot and probably run again. So oh, Jon Snow, thanks for the sub. Percy P, Aniket K, Ashish M, and Micah C, thank you all for the subs today on YouTube. If you're watching, big shout out, much appreciated. Okay. Yeah, we got Thanksgiving coming up. Let's freaking go, dude. I'll be going back home. First time in a long time. To go eat some turkey and hang with the family. Watch the Iron Bowl. I think Bitcoin will go down more. I think it's very possible. But at the same time, again, we just discussed, just from November 11th, in 10 days, Bitcoin lost 25% of its value. So with such incessant selling like that, those waves, those selling waves conclude because oscillators get cooked on lesser time scales. Sellers eventually, I mean, it just gets, funding rate goes negative, right? Short squeezes happen. And you can get bear market downtrend rallies. Like, if this happened, it would be very unsurprising. Like, I can't be surprised at all if a rally to 92K happens and they test it formally as resistance. I can't be surprised. But remember, what goes on? You asked me about, can Bitcoin go lower? I don't act like I know where anything's going next. In fact, we just do the market analysis of the major market cap assets in the world just to look at them, just to see what's going on, man. Sometimes big developments happen, but very rarely in terms of like, wow, look at these patterns constructed on these index funds or like, you know, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or gold and silver. We're just looking at them to keep you updated. And then the other aspect of this stream, the main aspect, is the identifying an edge on a chart. And it takes time and structures, confirmation lows, divergencies, many different things. There's a big difference between like me trying to analyze Bitcoin every day just to keep you apprised on what's happened today, what happened yesterday, what's happening right now, and then looking for a pattern to develop that would give us a greater than 50% chance of impending bullish resolution. Okay? Big difference. Like what we do on the other side when we don't have when we get done with the analysis, we want to identify the framework. Stuff like this, BABA, back in last year. This is what we're looking for. This is really what this channel is about. This stream's about. Looking for setups like this. Setups like Exos, the most recent graduate of the framework. Look at it, man. Hey, bro, it was up how much in a week? This was dealer's choice, man. Y'all asked me. Y'all tipped me and said, you pick something. And I was like, you know what? It's Exos. Because it was perfect. And guess what? Last week got 50%. And it hit the freaking $100 target anyway. That was it. So this is what I try to teach this stuff here. And then, but guess what? 99% of assets are not presenting this setup. You have to scan through hundreds of assets to finally find one that looks like this, and then it can still fail in the end. But I'm just telling you, it gives you a greater than 50% chance of a reversal. TNDM on the monthly, same picture as ACHR. I mean, what was it up on the... It was up 52% on the month now. So it's up 30+% from the entry of this position trade. You had everything, man. You had the U-shaped volume signature, the M-shape, the shark. You had the type 1, then the type 2. And I love the slightly lower low double bottom. That's my favorite. The ACHR had that slightly lower low signature. And those outperform if they do play out. And so this one might really go. It already has, right? It's like instantly gone. The day I posted the trade setup, the next morning it was up like what already? Like 7-8%. And then now again 30+%. Maybe 40% now. I don't know. Yeah. So this is what we look for. And these are real edges. This is where this is a high probability of reversal here. But when you look at like random assets that happen to be the index funds or gold or Bitcoin, it's like, dude, most of the time you don't have an edge. All we can do is talk about the levels. And like, if this level breaks, where are we headed next? How about Microsoft? Remember the weekly? Oh, this is the monthly now. Oh my God, bearish engulfing candle with 4 days to go. Good God, you're going for the lowest monthly close since May. But remember, the weekly is really gross. They confirmed on Friday. They confirmed the breakdown, the double tap. The Baradur, Tower of Baradur in the making now. So they pretty much ran it to the next support, though, at least. And I don't think it quite touched, but close. And if they break that, oh, God, you're probably going to head to like 430. But yeah, this is a market driver, man. This is 7% of the entire S&P 500. So you don't want this going lower. You want a big bounce this week. But even if they bounce it, my God, how are you going to make a higher high anytime soon? You're probably not. You misspelled it, Kroll. Hardcore. It's Barad, one word, and then the other word, the second word, Dur, D-U-R. Baradur. I'm sure there's like Elvish text, to, or like the apostrophe, the accent. Baradur. Come on, dude. Get it together. What's up, Cristal? Thanks, man. Just reading some chat. I've spent no time. And then you got, yeah, Rivian is in that potential Varsity athlete. Sorry. Yeah, like people asking about how's Rivian. Rivian's, it hasn't resolved yet. It's like good start, kind of, but they gave back a lot of that start. But there's nothing wrong with this. It's still valid. It's still in the... We're waiting. Like, if it's going to resolve, we're waiting for a huge breakout. 1567, 1927, and beyond. We're looking for that. And that's, like, on deck. It's like the probability of resolution is very high now. Like, it's just going to be 1 week of craziness that's really going to get this thing going. It just hasn't occurred yet. But, you know, again, it's not about us thinking we know what's going to happen. We're just identifying the same things we've been identifying on all these other assets over all these years. And Rivian's the one that's got it right now, where, like, the probability is way higher of way higher prices if you give me enough time. It can take a long time, man. This is the weekly. Each candle represents 7 days here, but it's the exact same setup in ways. Tu baba. Same setup, man, that we had down here. Same one. LAC, remember LAC? I know, but what do you want me to do, man? Like, people be like, you ever complain about LAC, you're banned, dude. Like, you can't tell me that, okay, so we identify the structure, and then it goes up 120+% in 2 days. And all I was told is you have to own it and be in it and be patient. And it happened. So you could have taken profit at any point. So if you're complaining about it being down like this and not even close to the gap fill, like, you're banned. I mean, like, get effed. We identified the harmonic structure. It was just like ACHR and BABA and Rivian and all these other ones. So, yeah, it's probably going to put in a higher low and run again later. So, anyway. Yeah, I mean, altcoins are in a downtrend. You know, people say bear market, bull market. I don't even say that. I just say downtrend, uptrend. Okay, and those are definitive. Okay, you can look in a book and know what a trend is, and that's all we go on, right? And yes, altcoins downtrending, and it's certain, and it's been that way. You've been downtrending really since they put in that lower high in October, and then you dumped. Large liquidation event when you made the lower low than the previous low, then the lower highs, and that was confirmation. These same highs. I mean, okay, and we had identified the wave structure and like, oh man, you don't want to find a bearish wave structure in a downtrend, and here we are hitting those levels. So, yeah, we are. But we also understand, right? In a downtrend, you can get relief rallies, reflexive rallies. They typically happen at these harmonic optimum prices where, you know, the threshold of validity, it's at its maximum, and then you're hitting like supports from history where big rallies, reversals have occurred here. Short sellers take profit at these levels at the same time. So they're like, Solana, if you see a rally here, it would be the least weird thing you could dream of. It would be very unsurprising. But guess what? That rally, if you do get it, is most likely going to be lower. It will conclude lower than the previous high from November 11th and 10th. Like, if you get any rally on Solana, it's going to probably look like this. People can make money on it. Shorts get squeezed and devastated and liquidated, and the downtrend continues. It would still be the lowest high of the downtrend, even if you ran to 160. So that's just where we are, man. The devastation has occurred, like really bad devastation. The market's in shambles. But guess what? Little rallies can occur at supports, and then it rolls over way later. Miami Vice, America's #1 TV show. So we could rally here, and Bitcoin could rally to probably 92K, 93K. I mean, that gray zone is definitely where these old supports could flip to resistance formally, and it'd be discernible. Like, they could do this, man. They could do that, and it's not going to be weird. It would be pretty normal, all right? Shorts have to get destroyed. Shorts are like, there's so many people shorting Bitcoin now in crypto, and I don't even understand like how or why. Like, dude, it's like FOMO. It's the inverse. It's like people start going lever long on big rallies like this, and it's like, what? You're going long on an asset now after they just failed to break out of the channel, and the sellers recaptured the top of this channel. That just means there's good downside, and it still can remain in the uptrend. They go test these supports here, right? I'm just flipping the chart over. It helps give perspective. I'm like, that's not a good place to be taking fresh longs, right, on an asset if it's doing that. Just like it's not a good idea to be taking fresh shorts right here. That's crazy. 25% lost in 10 days on the largest asset in the world of crypto. Is the VIX dead? Probably it's down, I'm sure. Like, why would it not be? Well, it was down 11+%, but there's probably a VIX chart. It's not open. It's open, but it's futures. Yeah, I'm sure it's down. Yeah, the futures are all up. You know, NASDAQ's up still, but that gap's going to fill. You know, it'll go flat this evening probably. Or at least by pre-market, you'll fill that. If you don't, then you'll fill it probably tomorrow morning after the open. But I just don't like that candle. It's not a reversal candle, and you put yourself in a pretty bad spot trend-wise in the short term on the NASDAQ futures, where you now have consecutive lower highs, lower lows. I wouldn't say trend reversals, OP. I would say you can get rallies and downtrends. Look at these rallies. These rallies, you get these pumps. Like we actually, I mean, that was like a 4% rally in 2 days, right? 3% rally in a day. Like, you get in downtrends, you get rallies. So you just can't be surprised.
Can we do a dealer's choice but go in the negative direction instead of a positive direction stock?
Like look at,
hasn't
yes.
been kicked in the teeth yet.
Thank you, dudes. I'll do what I can. But look at the 4 hour. I mean, like, it's right there. That 130 level. They even tested that already. They've, like, lost the levels, and they've recaptured. They're reconfirming. They're kind of like spring back testing on your, on a 4 hour time scale. And the daily is like, this doesn't mean you bullish engulfing. They recapture 130. This could literally be a short-term mega bottom. And a huge 5, 7, 10% rally could occur from here. I wouldn't be surprised. It goes, you can go up 20% from here into being a downtrend still. You get it? Like, this is a perfect level to try to take a shot if you're looking to. Like, you'd probably stop loss at 127 maybe. Just below the candle low close, I guess, at this point. If you were just looking to take advantage of what we're doing here.
At 119 Mastermind Super chatted $34.75. Novo Nordisk Type 1 on daily? Thanks.
Oh, Ozempic, man. Yeah, dude, sure. Sure thing, dude. We'll see what we can do, okay? Ozempic, we'll see. All right, what was that first one? Things again 119. But the first one, the one before that was a dealer's choice instead of a positive. You want a short setup. What has an TK? Okay, so it's gonna be controversial, but what was it, man? Give me a sec. Dealer's choice is not easy, all right? I mean, we could try to look at that one. Again, I don't know if it's gonna, okay, so for me, I gotta say something like this. I don't care what the asset is, okay? I don't care. Like, it could be anything. But I'm looking at SJNK, the State Street Bloomberg short-term high-yield bond ETFs, all right? And this one to me is kind of scary for now. It could turn around, right? New data could come in that would change everything, of course, right? They break 2564, they break 2575. All right, completely invalid idea. But my major concern is the fact that we had this V-shaped recovery that has concluded now. And it's concluded with lower highs and a bearish back test of 2564. This is the level from January. The 3 falling peaks. If you go watch the streams back there, we looked at this, and it literally was prophetic. We didn't know at the time, but it did end up winding up resolving with the market crashing. And now we're at this point where you had a deep 100% retrace here, but I'll show you from this highest point from September all the way to the lowest point. Look at this. That's an 88% retrace, man. They took it to the 886. It's a short seller's value. And so not only did they 886 it, they ran it up to this old level. Look, man, right here from 2018, a swing low. That swing low, swing low, swing high, swing low. That level was regarded as resistance before the crash. and they've done it now again. But what really kind of makes me nervous about this one is the fact that you saw this huge amount of selling, probably sign of weakness stuff, and they rallied the asset. And on the attempted rally here, you're now seeing no longer are you making higher highs. You made a lower low than the previous lows. Then you rallied and made a lower high than the previous local high. There was such a lack of demand from participants that they could not even test that 2564 level again as they had done. Not anymore. That's really weak to me, and you had a drawdown again. But now look at it. They're trying to hold it, bro. You did literally, I mean, by the grace of God, by the textbook, that is a bullish inside bar. Right above, on a bullish back test of this little local support from July. I mean, that's a Japanese candlestick reversal for now. But I'm just saying, even if they rallied it, they wouldn't fill the gap 25.44. They could end up just putting in another lower high, and then it rolls over. Fill the gap, right? So you're in so much trouble on this one that they could do that. It's still screwed. They could take it to $25, and it's still going to make a lower high local in the previous high. And so this is a right-angled and ascending broadening formation, and this is a confirmed partial rise, okay? It became confirmed when they gapped it down and tested this level, the bottom of the structure again. That's valid until they capture prices higher than 25.58. So to me, it's like just another lower high, local bearish price action, and I think the probability is elevated that this will resolve eventually, wherever, if it's here or if it's at 25.50, I think eventually it resolves with a massive markdown. I don't actually know, but I'm just saying, look how it's trading negatively to this high from 2023. These swing highs, swing low. It's currently below that. It closed below that on Friday, even with the bullish inside bar, bullish harami. And the 200 moving average are right there too. They closed the day below the 200 as well. So whether it happens soon or if it happens after one more rally to put in another, yeah, they'll do that, right? Like they did that before. They might want to put in a third peak for the rule of three stuff. They do it all the time, man. 1, 2, and then 3. They could do that. And the stock market rallies a little bit, you know, but I think this one's a great look. It is called the top the past 2 times, 2 major ones. The 10-month bear market started after the complex head and shoulders after a big rally, and in February. So now you just have another matured bearish structure at a deep 886 retrace, and you have price action that would indicate a lot of weakness. So I'm concerned about that. It makes me just really want to take pause on risk on right now. But it's like, hey man, a lot of us have made money this year. I'm just looking at this point like, oh, I might miss out on more gains. Okay, I don't want to lose what I made throughout this entire summer. The Google trade, the Tesla trade, there are some really good ones that like definitely help like my portfolio do well this year. I don't want to lose that. So I'm like kind of more risk averse right now. I have no leverage. I had some leverage this summer. I'm just kind of like, this is kind of scaring me, and I don't like locally what's going on with the index funds. But I could certainly, like, it just could be another one of those, we're pumping to all-time highs again. Dude, how stupid of you for, like, wanting to preserve the gains you made this summer. Like, whatever. No one went poor, taking profit. But then I'm just looking at this and I'm like, yeah, we get a rally and we get a 25K again, and it's still a lower high than the previous highs locally. I'm just, yep. Whatever. All right. Nova Nordisk. Didn't the CEO or someone like collapse or something live on TV recently? I think he did. Norvo. What was it? Oh, Novo. Whoops. Novo.
Hey, Mitch. I have been looking at robotics sector.
Oh my god, dude.
ETF that is not primarily NVIDIA. Thanks.
Who was that, dude? Chat. What is I mean, Novo, N-O-V-O, but where is it on? Is it not on the New York Stock Exchange, man? N-O-V-O. You help me out here, chat. Is it just Toronto Stock Exchange? Let me know. Okay, I'm gonna give you all a second. He collapsed in the Oval Office. NVO. Thank you, dude. Thank you so much. Wow, amazing. There it is. Yeah, I'm like, where's the data? Okay, dude, that's so bad. All right. Here we are. What a head and shoulders for the ages, right? My God. Now you're sitting at this very key support in a downtrend, okay? You're in a downtrend. No one can argue with it. Just because you maybe potentially for a minute put in the same low doesn't change anything. I think it's going to take a lot more to reverse the trend. You're at supports, man. Anyone can take a shot at a support, right, if they want. But I don't think, why would you want to own this asset below 47.41? They just recaptured it on Friday. On Thursday, though, man, it was down 3%. Yeah, the trend is not your friend. They spend time consolidating and going on rallies. There could obviously be a rally that occurs, okay? They could do this. The downtrend could continue. You're just not in an uptrend. So if I was like a short seller, I'd be wanting something like this to happen so I could take a short on it. Like in downtrends, you're looking for rallies and then rallies to conclude with confirmation. They're lower highs than the previous highs, and then you typically want them to be 88%, 78% retraces. So you have value perceived in the downtrend with the form of confirmation up against key resistance, right? When they broke this level on Novo October 10th, when they broke it, they never back tested it as resistance, okay? So market participants might want to do that first before taking it lower. So if a rally happened here, I can't be that surprised. But if you're trying to long this, remember what you're doing. You are taking a long in a downtrend, meaning you are counter trend trading. So we just talked about if you're identifying structures or the price holding at support for a little bit, understand like the reliability of any structure you identify is going to be lower reliability, and if it happens to be reliable, its performance can be bad, and so. It might be so weak that they might only be able to take it up to like 53.70, that swing high right here from August 2021. It could be that bad. So this would be like you're looking for big rallies to conclude and then like forms of confirmation locally to maybe go short versus taking longs at bottoms. You let maybe you could. Again, like if someone's trying to long it, they're probably setting a stop at like $46, you know? Like if they're trying to do that. They're trying to counter trend trade, that's about all you can do at this point. But you probably the better trade would probably be letting it rally and then confirmation highs coming in at key levels that are like good short setups because downtrend. You're looking to short peaks in downtrends more so than trying to long downtrends at supports. But you can, right? Again, one could, and maybe you get that and then you close out your position at $58 and then you go short. You could flip it. Yeah, anyway. All right. That was Novo. I think that was the last request, chat. Yep. 119 Mastermind. Does that make any sense? Maybe not. I don't know. Futures still up 0.5% or so on a gap up. Bitcoin's up, man. 87K. We flipped green, man. We've been so devastated that any sort of reflexive rally occurring on the engulfing candle, the recapturing of the channel, it can happen and it wouldn't be surprising. You break 87.4, I cannot in any means be surprised if a run straight up to 91K happens. It can't be. So everyone have their alert set up above 87.5. If it happens, yep, 91.5 on deck. All right, chat. Well, been a good stream. Truly, you know, Sunday evening, we congregate here to look at the weekly candle close. We try to assess kind of everything going into the new week, and just to stay keep yourself grounded. You know, rallies can happen in downtrends, but those rallies, if you want to reverse a trend, those rallies have to go a lot higher than the next resistance. That you got to take out previous discernible swing highs. Then after that, the sell-off occurs, and then the higher lows have to come in, and then it consecutively has to happen. So we're way off from that. And a downtrend in crypto has been that way. But a 25% loss on Bitcoin in 10 days, there could be a 5, 6, 7, 10% rally in that downtrend, and then it just rolls over later. And that happens even in 2022, dude. The downtrend, man, we spent months bear flagging before going way lower. And that was a lot of up and down. Oh, thanks, SoFlo, man. Yeah, thank y'all for coming out. Really appreciate it. And anyone supports this channel, very grateful. Okay, we are 100% crowdsourced here. Never accepted a sponsor to promote to you. Never done affiliate marketing links. Never monetized on YouTube. You've never watched an ad. How many hours of your life have I saved you? All those things, man. Just so you know whose side I'm truly on, and it's yours. And this is an education-centric stream. It's e-learning. It's what the founders of the internet envisioned, what they wanted the internet to be. I tried to be that model. So that's why I'm here, to help you on your trading journey, to be a tool, a conduit from the people that put their life's work and research into TA, technical analysis, to you. So join the Discord if you haven't. Great place to be. Very active Discord. You get notified when I go live. Educational resources tabs free in there. But yeah, it's where the conversation continues when this live stream ends. So I'll be back. Hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Hope we have a great Monday. Probably see y'all tomorrow. So until next time, respect the TA.